Drage gledateljice i dragi gledatelji, dobrodošli. Ja sam Ines Žižić, a vi gledate Atma podcast. Moj današnji gost je Paramahamsa Vishwananda, duhovni učitelj, guru u tradiciji Atma Kriya joge i Bhakti joge, autor, predavač te osnivač međunarodne misije i organizacije Bhakti marga. Swami je inače porijeklom s Mauriciusa, a na svojim mnogobrojnim putovanjima je upravo posjetio i Split i mi smo ga zamolili da bude naš gost kako bi saznali nešto više o njemu, njegovoj misiji i učenjima. Pa krenimo! Maharaj, namaste.
Namaskar.
I'm very much honored to have you on our podcast. Thank you so much for coming here. Welcome.
Thank you.
So this is not your first time in Split in Croatia. I remember, I know you from years.
Yeah.
You were traveling also into the other parts of, let me say like this, ex-Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
to Serbia, to Slovenia. You know the people, you know the mentality. So what would you say, how is the spiritual power, spiritual potential of people in this area, and also the whole place, the vibration of the whole place? Some like to say Balkans, isn't it?
Balkan. Yeah.
Balkan, yeah.
Actually, while coming after 6 years here, a lot of changes. Firstly, visibly, when we look around, we see so many modern buildings which were not there last time. And that shows that there is a progression, firstly, in the material world, into the external reality, what we see on the outside. And yesterday, Daršan, which was amazing to have so many people. Yeah. I remember the Daršan, former Daršan, because this is the 9th Daršan here in Split, and it is growing. And seeing that the people, enthusiasm of the people, that is good to see.
So afterwards you're going to Ljubljana.
Afterwards we are going to Ljubljana, and then after that to Hungary.
Yeah. So people here, I think they have really like some good spiritual potential. Also to this, let me say, like traditionally foreign teachings like Vedas. They somehow know about that. It's not
slowly
getting
slowly
there.
They are getting there.
Yeah.
Because you see, one thing is that people have to come to the point of asking a question, okay, about life. Yes, I have lived everything, but what else to life? There must be something more to life than just living life. And when you have that question, you need an answer for it. And mostly our scriptures give that deepness of that answer. Not just say, okay, there's a heaven somewhere that you have to work and go there. No, it's an inner transformation of getting to know firstly who you are. And people want to know. Because life can't just be random like that, It can't just say, yes, it happened. You must be somebody. You must have a deeper dharma, why you have come on earth, If you don't have that, then life is boring.
It is, definitely. And this leads me to my next question. I want to hear more about you as a person. So what would you say are the most, let me say like this, interesting events or insights which you had growing up, which led you to your spiritual path, which inspired you, some teachers, some influences which inspired you, and led you to this position like leader of a huge international organization like Bhakti marga.
Bhakti marga is present actually in 83 countries now, and of course it's a journey. My life was a journey which started very young. I'm born in Mauritius, like most of you have already presented it, all the stuff. I'm born in Mauritius, and in Mauritius we have different cultures living together and in peace. That is the beauty of that island. There is a old religion live together, but each one follow their own path with respect to each another. And when I was 5 years old, this is my earliest recollection that I have, you know, of what I remember. I used to, for me, when other children would be playing with their toys, for me, my toys was mostly incense stick, camphor, and spiritual things. And well, I used to go with my grandma every day to do the worship, because we in Mauritius, every houses have a small chowkat. We call it Hanuman, where there's a Hanuman deity. So in the morning they pour water for the sun, and in the evening they light the lamp and Hanumanji and all the stuff for protection. So that was the beginning that I remember. And of course, you see, like we say, it's not you don't look for the Guru that look for you. And for me, what I remember first was my Sadguru, which is Mahaprabhu Babaji, and who came to me. I didn't know who he was at that time. I was 5 years old, and I ate some poisonous seeds. We were playing under the tree, and I ate some poisonous seeds, which I thought it was peanuts, and I ate it, and ate a lot, and then after that I fainted, and I was foaming and everything, and they rushed me to the hospital. And in the hospital, they did the cleaning and washing, you know, and I was in the recovery place, and there was this man outside the window, and he was giving sweets to all the kids. So all the kids were drawn to him, and he was giving sweets to the kids. So I went there, and the funny thing is that I remember I asked him one question: why are you here? Nobody will ask a person, who are you? But I asked him, why are you here? And he said, I'm here for all the children, but especially for you. But it didn't make any sense for me at that time. No. So he held my hand, he gave me 1 sweet and 1 rupee, Mauritian money. I was seeing that 1 rupee at that time was a lot of money, because I used to collect cents, few cents, to go and buy sweets. So 1 rupee was a lot, was 100
fortune
cents.
For the kid, yeah.
Yeah, the fortune, yeah. So I was mostly concentrated on that, not on the sweet, because I'm thinking, how many sweets and biscuits will I get from that? So then he said to me, do you know who you are? But you see, if you ask the 5 years old kids about this, it didn't make any sense. So I didn't answer anything. So then, without turning behind, with his finger, he pointed behind him, said, do you see the light? So I look at his finger and I follow. I was looking behind him, there's a hill, I was looking on the hill everywhere. I could not see any light. So he bent down, looked in my eyes, and said, look properly. The second time when I looked, I saw like a sun, very bright light, but surrounded by a disk of light. It was very brilliant, shiny. And what I heard, I don't know how long that vision was, but what I heard was, that's you.
That's you.
That's you. How long did that vision last? I have no idea. But when I came back to myself, he said, your auntie and your mom is coming, I have to go. He did Abhayahasta, mudra, like this, blessing, and he just disappeared. So eventually my auntie and my mom came a few minutes later, and I was very excited to tell the story about this man, And of course my mom listened to the story and said, this is child's story, maybe somebody have come and gave, and it's a children's story, and that's it. My mom said, it's an uncle. Okay, it's an uncle, because you see in the island, everybody is related, everybody is a cousin of each another, especially in Mauritius, we are all related somehow, because we all come from the same place in India. Most of the people come from Bihar, and of course most of the Biharis, they are all connected. So okay, that was the first encounter. But I remember, of course, And then later on, there was another instance where I had to remove a big tooth from the mouth, and it brought me to the few months later, probably a year later, brought me to the dentist, and I didn't want the dentist because he put the injection and I bit his finger. Bit his finger. My mom was really angry. I would not let go. And she gave me a good slap and told me to go out. So it is a dispensary. So I went outside. I was crying, and then there was the same man outside, standing, and he was there, and he said, "You've been naughty." I said, "Yes, I bit the finger of the dentist. I didn't want him to remove my tooth." And then my mom came and just dragged me. And I was crying, and I said, "Mom, look, the same uncle is there." And she looked, there was nobody there. So that was the second encounter with him. No. But I didn't even know who he was at that time. I had no idea. So like that, my spiritual path was always like, in the island we have temples everywhere. So every street have a temple. So I would spend my time going to temple. And there's a church also nearby. So we will go to the church because it was very
Christian
close.
Church?
Yeah, a Catholic church. I will spend the time also there. So it's not, there was no segregation or anything. Everybody is free. So that was, on Sunday I will go with my neighbor. They were Catholic. They will go to the mass. I will go with them to the mass. So this is how I grew up. I grew up with the same. There is a spirituality. There's a sense of thing. So I grew up. Then I went to school like normal. And at the age of 14 and a half, actually, something happened. One day to the other, I wake up. One night, actually, on the 21st of April at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1992. I woke up. I was in panic because in our place, my mom didn't allow me to have the deity of the picture of the deities with belief, because we see my parents believe, but they were not practicing people. So they will have the one picture of gods, any Shiva or Krishna, that's it. But for me, it was very important. So I had a small corner place where I would put all my deity, which I will have to collect the money and buy. So that, then there was another picture of Shirdi Sai Baba, of Shirdi, the old man. Somebody gave it to me, this picture. I said, okay. My mom said, I don't want to see him outside. Please put him somewhere where I don't see. So I locked him inside the wardrobe. So in the evening, I would just put incense stick, and put a flower to him, and then that's it. So on that particular day, 21st of April 1992, at around 2 o'clock, I woke up because there was a light emanating from the wardrobe, and I just jumped. I was in panic because I thought out of the incense, some thing fell down, and now it's burning. So I rushed and I opened the door of the cupboard, and to my amazement, there was no fire. It was just rays of light emanating from the picture of Shirdi Sai Baba. And it was such a relief, actually, but calm myself, and okay. Then it stopped, and I went to bed. The next morning, I thought I dreamt about it. Because it was so surreal, It's like you can't imagine that this is something like that can happen or not. So, but it was vivid into the mind. So I went to school. When I came back, I saw my mom sitting outside crying. Outside the house crying. I said, why? What happened to you? Somebody died. I know your mom is already dead. But who died now? Maybe somebody close to you, who passed away. That's why you're sitting in crying. I said, no. Go inside. Yeah. And when I entered the house, it was smelling so strongly. And such a sweet fragrance was in the air. I said, okay, fine, probably it's incense stick. My mom lit, no, but that was a bit shocking because it was not lit as the incense stick. So I went in and was looking, and on the picture of all the deities which I had in my room, they were all covered with ash. There was not, it was all, you could not see the picture anymore. My mom said, you put it, and you said, how? So we cleaned the whole thing. So she asked me to clean it. So we cleaned everything. It was just a little bit. And this is the big mistake, actually, what we did. In few hours, it was a very thick layers again.
Okay.
It just manifest. It just appeared. Everywhere. It's like, it's like you said, when the dog is sleeping, don't wake him up. It's like that. It was very little. You can't just leave it like that. No, clean it, and it was full. Everywhere. Even the little tablet which was in the corner, whatever thing, all my day, it was completely just pouring out. And that was the beginning of my mom started crying and going crazy. What is happening? So we kept quiet for 3 days. We didn't say anything to anybody. Quiet. And then after 3 days, my mom told my auntie, which is live next house. So it's fine, we keep it quiet. But then one lady said, what is happening here? Let me come and see also, And they said, one old lady, which is a neighbor, said, okay, she's not well, let her come. So she said, come, and have a look what is happening. But please don't say anything to anybody. This is the biggest mistake that you ever do. So when you tell somebody not to say something. And but from that one lady, the next day when I came back from school, there were a queue of people. And my mom was sitting and crying. And she asked me, what can we do now? I said, we can't stop the people. I said, okay, let them. They want to see, let them see, They want to take. It's not a problem. And then this is how all started, just with one lady.
And what happened afterwards?
And there were many people coming, and many people who were sick were coming. And there were lots of miracles happened.
What is this ash for the viewers? So
what is this ash? This ash is called vibhuti. And it is connected you see, like in the Vaishnava tradition, for example, you see, for us we use chandan. And ash vibhuti is for Saivite, Shiva devotee. And at that time, I was worshipping Lord Shiva a lot. And that is the ash that they applied on Lord Shiva. The ash symbolizes that everything is dust. Everything which is created one day will become dust. So nothing is permanent. So the ash means that eternity also. Once something becomes ash, it is forever. Ash can't be reversed back to its original state. Once something is burned, it can't go back to how it used to be. So it is that eternity state. It's a reminder also of your Atma is eternal. But everything else, it is not eternal. Everything comes and everything goes. And that is the ash that represents that.
That's very interesting. So afterwards, people were coming. And
people were coming, and many miracles was happening. People were healed, and there was one famous person who came. She was in the last stage of cancer, and she came and she prayed. She asked, please help me because I have little children. And funny thing is that she was healed. after a month, there were no trace of cancer, nothing. And that let many people get heard about that, what had happened.
And then you moved from Mauritius to India?
No. I stayed in Mauritius. Okay. I stayed in Mauritius. And at the age of 16, I traveled first time. I went to Kenya. There also there was a person whose son was getting blind. So he asked me, please come to his place if I can help. So he invited me there. So I went to Kenya first time. And eventually the boy stopped to see. Wow. His eyes get better. And now he's, I think, in England. And like that, I started to travel then.
Helping people, educating people, giving lessons.
No, I was first I have to understand myself what was happening.
Yeah, first you were a disciple.
I could not understand what was happening at that time. There was nobody who can tell you. Imagine something like that.
You didn't have guru at the time?
No,
okay.
There was no guru.
I mean, like a man of...
No,
aside from...
Okay, when that things happen, then they told that there is somebody in India called Satya Sai.
Of course, we know who he is. Yeah.
And... of course, by that time, 1.5 years have passed, and I have an auntie which is a devotee of Satya Sai, and she said, okay, let's have the picture of Satya Sai, then we start doing bhajan, all the stuff there. So this is after the manifestation of Vipuli, but of course it would keep coming and everything else, So then, at the age of 17, I went to India. So then I went to Shirdi first, then I went to Whitefield, Puttaparthi, where Sai Baba was in Whitefield at that time. So I arrived there, first thing, he came and stood in front of me. And I didn't know what to do. And just, okay, fine. Second day the same, third day the same thing. On the fourth day he asked me, where are you from? I said, Mauritius. And then he said, go. Go. I didn't ask him anything, and he said to go. I didn't understand anything. So I keep sitting, and then the people which were helping, he told you to go. I said, yes, but where to go? And then they pointed to the gate, and go there. He called you for interview. And imagine, 14 years old, getting up in front of so many people. I was perspiring, sweating, and trembling and everything, nervous and everything. So I went there, and then Baba came, and he was very sweet, and he sat and he was talking. There were some other people also there. That was good. Second day, the same thing. I was called again, and then he gave me a ring, and then I think he called my parents, my mom also, and then said, where are you staying? I said, I stay outside. And he said, no, you stayed in the guest house. So he put us in his guest house, and then one time I met him while we were walking to the interview. There was a chiku tree there, plant, and he asked me, what is, this fruit? And I said, I don't know which fruit it is, And he just plucked one and gave. It was green. And I tried to eat it. He asked me to eat it. I ate it, but it was green.
Green, yeah.
And it don't taste nice at all. But then he held it in his hand. It became soft, and he gave me. It was ripe.
Wow.
So, like that, he was one of the figure which helped me understand what was happening. And from that on, I met him many times. I had met him personally more than 27 times. And I traveled with him, I had breakfast with him. And like that, he was a pillar. So then, fast forward, I thought it was always him, because that at the background, the image of who that man was from the beginning, I thought it was him, or he was Shirdi Sai or whatever, I thought it was them. But then later on, when I heard about Mahathir Babaji, I said, he resembled that person. Because it was very clear, that vivid image of who that person was with long hair and his face. It's nothing to do with them. But when I saw the picture of Mahathir Babaji, it was him. But I was not sure about it was him. So then he revealed to him more later on, But then he asked me, Mahavtar Babaji asked me in 2001, he asked me, because then I had vision of him, later on. Then he asked me to teach Kriya, And I said, no, I will not teach Kriya.
You refused?
Yeah, I refused.
Why?
Because I was not ready, actually. I was not, I didn't feel it. And then later on, 2005, he asked me again, and I said, okay, fine, I will. This is the first time when I decided to teach Kriya. But I said, I want to teach Kriya, but infused with the 9 form of Bhakti. Because Bhakti is the most important thing of this time. Without Bhakti, nothing. So beautifully, because I met one sannyas last week, actually, from another tradition. And I was asking about her Guru Maharaj, because I met her Guru Maharaj when I was young. And I was asking about her. And he said, because they used to teach yoga, and I said, yes, but Guru Maharaj at the end of his life have dedicated his life completely to the path of Bhakti. And he said, and he have said that the only way is through Bhakti. And I said, wow, in spite of going through all what he went through, he have studied each part of all kind of yoga, and then he have lead him to Bhakti. So that amazed me. That was just last week, actually. And then I was saying to the people around me, you see, that is the most important thing. So when Babaji asked me in 2005, and I said, yes, I want to, but infuse that with Bhakti. And through that, I asked him if I can bring some very old technique back. Technique which have been forgotten through thousands of years, actually. And this is one of the technique is the Om chanting.
Om chanting.
Yeah. So this is a very ancient technique which the yogi used to do it. And tremendously that there's so many things that happen when they used to do. They used to grow the limbs of people just by chanting Om. They used to heal people just by chanting Om. And I asked Babaji, I want to bring that. If you allow me to bring that, then I will teach Kriya. And he said, yes, of course. So I brought, this is how Om chanting is flourishing, and I said, it's everywhere in the world, And many wonders have happened, many healing have happened, many spiritual growth have happened just by chanting of Om. Of course, you have to understand the deeper meaning of Om. But it's the most easiest way. So I started I gave it to the people. And then, of course, 2008, Mahavtar Babaji asked me, now you have to take initiation. I said, I never wanted to belong to any organization or anything, And I said, but it's important to have a proper structure. I remember a long time back when I was, I think in the third interview with Satya Sai, he said to me once, you stayed here in Budapest, in India. I said, no, I will not stay. Then he said, one day you will have a big organization just like me. And you will grow even bigger than me. And that's what I didn't want to hear that, I said, okay, whatever. And so in 2005, Mahavtar Babaji asked me to teach, so I started teaching Kriya. Then 2008, he asked me to take initiation into the Vaishnava tradition. So he brought me to Sri Rangam, and then I got initiated in Sri Rangam. And then from that on, this is in short my journey. From there on, I start
traveling.
Well, no, I've been traveling. Traveling,
but more extensively.
Yes, now it's getting much more. Yeah. Even during COVID time, I have traveled much more than usual.
That's really interesting. So can we speak a little bit more now about philosophy and wisdom behind the teachings, so our viewers can understand everything which we will talk during the podcast. So what would you say is the what is our true self, and what is the ultimate purpose of human life, what is the absolute truth, and how to connect or reconnect.
Reconnect, yeah, that's nice. The first question was, what is the true self? Of course, we talk about Atma. It's one thing that I always ask people, how many of you have a glimpse even of the Atma? We know it as yes, we hear about the philosophy of it. People talk about it, Atma. We know that without the Atma, nothing exists. We can't exist, no? And then if we don't exist without the Atma, how would everything else exist? Nothing else will exist. So the Atma is something which is very important, but yet that which is the most important, we try not to look at it. We try to look everything else which is not that important, We look at our body, we look at our mind, we look at our intellect, But the most important thing, that Atma itself, because it is so unknown to the mind of people, that is what we try to avoid it. So that is what gives every part of your body, the mind, the power to think, the senses, the power to act. Without Atma, it will not happen. That's why you see people, you see a dead body, you say it's dead. There's an absence of life inside. And that is the most important thing, but why we don't invest in knowing what is this, and how to access to that. And of course, you see, there's many ways to access to that, to get to know about that Atma. Some people do it through meditation, some people do it through surrender, and some people just say, God, you reveal it to me. So here it does, depend on which path you want to follow into it. So the Atma, which is part of that Supreme Lord, which is eternally connected to Him. We are not connected with Him. If we were not connected with Him, then we would not be alive. So that what connects us eternally with Him, it is that eternal truth what you were talking. So yes, when we can engage in knowing who we are, but then you know who you are, what else?
What then? What about it?
It is true, okay? You have a glimpse of the Atma, it's not finished. So there is also to get to know, where does that Atma come from, okay? What is the source of him? Where does he come from? Where does that Atma itself receive his energy? This is where it dives you into different spheres of higher reality, which is knowing who Paramatma is. So Paramatma is Bhagavan himself. That ultimate reality is that Supreme God, what we call God. And the easiest way to access to Him is through that love. Bhakti. But first you have to know Him.
Yes.
You can't just say, yes, I direct love because I believe. This is the thing, people believe in so many things. But there is no connection to Him.
That's true.
I believe in this candle is lightning in front of me. I believe X, Y, Z, But do I have a connection to that? No, there's no connection. But to build a connection, you have to get to know Him. So to get to know Him, you have to invest your time in knowing Him. So investing the time, how? Those who have forged a relationship with Him, they know Him. Otherwise, without a guide, it's not possible. So, Mahatma Babaji was the one which really helped me deepen this reality of, and like that, Bhagavan have, like I said, that when all these things happen, I enter into that deep meditation also. And I was always seeing an image. That image was the universe, and there was a person. But I didn't know who that person is. I could not see here the person's face, nothing. So later on, for deep meditation also, then I remember once I went into deep samadhi for 3 days, and it didn't come out of it. So after 3 days, I came back, so that image was clear. It was that inner journey that we went through. You know. So then that image was actually the face revealed itself, and shocking was similar face to me. So it is finding of oneself. But okay, you find yourself is fine. I have met many people who have realized themselves, but yet God realization is something else. To attain to that grace of one himself, is it in our power? No, it is not. We can't force him to reveal himself, but we can purify it ourselves. So by purifying oneself, by purifying the mind especially, then you attract that grace. You attract him, you allow him to manifest himself. You know. So you become like Arjun on the battlefield. No? So where was Krishna? He was the charioteer. You know? And Arjun was the passenger.
Yeah, like Krishna was serving him.
Okay, well, I say, yes, okay, Arjun could have easily be a charioteer also. You know? And Krishna could easily fought the war in a fraction of a second. It would have been finished. But no. He became that eternal guide. To guide everybody to him. By reminding Arjun of who he is firstly. Throughout Gita, what did Krishna say to Arjun? Get to know who you are. Know that you are that eternal self. Doesn't mean that that body will stay forever. No. But that which resides within that body, that will who you are truly. And that is only when there is a relationship to Bhagavan. Bhagavan allowed that to reveal itself also. So through the grace of the Lord himself, he bring the Atma. The Atma is always in a state of longing. Because the Atma don't long for this reality. This is the reality for the mind and intellect and the body, which is playing the game of the outside through the senses. No? But that is not what your soul wants. Your Atma is in deep longing to attain back to that blissful state. We are Ananda, Bhagavan is Satchidananda. And that is our true aim, to reach to that Satchidananda grace, to reach that ultimate reality. So when you realize that, and yes, that is my aim, that is my longing, then I want to know who he is. So there where the Shastra come, where those who have lived that relationship with Bhagavan, who have wrote about it, this become a guide also. The life of great saints, Saint Tukaram, Namdev, and Eknath, Jayadev, they have personally lived with Bhagavan. For them, Bhagavan was not somebody which is far away. God was not somebody which is far away. No, in their daily life, Vitthal was with them. Krishna was with them. Day in and day out, Krishna was there. So, to trust their word is very important. There were once a journalist, in Maharashtra. People walk to Pandharpur. You have heard about Pandharpur?
No.
Pandharpur is the place where Lord Vitthala is. Mm-hmm. You know Vitthala?
Yeah, I heard about Vitthala, yeah.
Vitthala is Krishna. Mm-hmm. It is the fourth Leela of Bhagavan Krishna. When he's in Dwarka with Rukmini Maharani. So he wanted to enact this Leela so that he can go to visit one of his dear devotee, which is Pundalik. So Pundalik was serving his mother and father. Matra Deva Bhava, Pitra Deva Bhava. Nothing else. He was not worshipping God, he was not worshipping. I said, for me, I don't know whose God is, but I know who my parent is. So I will worship my parent as the same way I worship God. So Krishna, because of the service he was rendering, with so laser focus to his mother and father, Krishna wanted to have his darshan. Look at that, how beautiful it is, you know. It is not the devotee that goes to Bhagwan, but Bhagwan himself come by his own accord, by his own grace, he come. Very often we think that, yes, we have to do something for God to realize, and we become so possessive and so crazy about it. No, say no. Allowed him to come. Allowed him to be the charity. Allowed him to be the driver of your vehicle.
Amaze him, surprise him.
Yes, so surprise him. You know, say, look, because he languished for that.
When more than we think,
Yes, when such a devotee come, Bhagwan attach himself to that, because he don't get such kind of devotee. Such devotee which is completely surrendered to him is very rare. That's why he attached himself. So coming to just in short, he came and gave darshan to Pundalik. And Pundalik was serving his mother and father. And Bhagwan called him. He knew it was Bhagwan. But he threw a brick outside and said, please stand and wait for me. And Bhagwan stood there and wait. And it's so beautiful.
It's sweet.
It's not about that. Bhagwan is again, remind you, do your duty properly. When you do your duty properly, then he will come by his own accord. Chapter 3, verse 30 of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan said, perform all action in surrendering to me, as an offering to me. So beautifully explained that. But if you do your action properly, with the aim of offering, I will come. You don't need to come to me. I myself will come. So when coming to the point of knowing who Bhagwan is, when you have that deep, really, I want to know who you are. Okay, I know I'm the Atma, fine, but I want to know who you are. And it is not, you come to the point of saying, it's not in my capacity of knowing who you are. You can reveal it. So having that clear faith that, yes, you can reveal yourself to me. I can try my best, but you have to do the rest.
It's up to you then.
Yeah. So you throw yourself into him completely. You give him that responsibility. You do your responsibility, you do your duty, you do your dharma, but you let him reveal himself, So when you allowed him to reveal himself, if you are sincere, he can't deny you. So I was saying, there's a beautiful, that's why counting upon what the saints have lived, believe in the word of the saints is very important. Once a journalist asked the Varkari, which is you see, in Maharashtra, every year, the people, thousands and thousands of people, they walk to Pandharpur, where Lord Vithala is. So, coming to the point, the Vitthal Vigraha, which is in Pandharpur, is Krishna himself. When Krishna asked Pundalik, what do you want? Pundalik said, how I'm seeing you here, I want that generation to come, people will ever see you in that aspect. And Bhagwan blessed him by letting his Vigraha there. So, people walk, thousands of people every year walk, just to have a glimpse of Lord Vithala. And one journalist asked an old man, how long have you been doing that? And he said, for 82 years. Since I was 4 years old, I've been coming to Vari. And then the journalist asked him, but have you seen Vithala? He said, no. I have not seen him, but I have clear confidence that he sees me.
I was just thinking he would say that.
Yes. Because he sees.
Yes.
That is our vision is so clouded, is limited, but he sees. So then he gave a beautiful example, saying, look, when a dog is barking in the middle of the night, because one dog have seen a thief or something, what happened?
All dogs
All
in the
the
neighborhood
dogs
starts
in the neighborhood start
barking.
barking.
Yeah.
How many have seen?
One.
One. It takes one. That one, when they bark, they all have faith into what they have seen, and they all bark. Compared to human is different. When one sees, everybody doubt.
Yes. Very suspicious.
But dogs believe in their own kind, but humankind have forgotten that. And that is a problem. That's why, you see, that's why Krishna said, out of million, many will come to me. Out of million, few will know me. But out of this few, only few will know me in essence. And out of those who knows me in essence, only few know me for reality, who I am.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it is not easy because...
It's not cheap. Yeah.
No, it's not cheap, and it's not... You see, we can't take it for granted. We take everything for granted. But to know Bhagwan, to allow Bhagwan to reveal himself, we have to have that deep longing for him. Otherwise, he don't reveal himself. And that longing come through your service that you start rendering. When you forget about yourself, okay, you have realized yourself, what come? The ego will jump. Because you see, if you don't have a clear guidance from the Sadguru, the ego will come. The Guru is there to destroy that ego.
Yes.
Because what is the aim of the Guru? That you attain that supreme reality, So when Bhagwan reveals himself, yes, it's not just revealed, then you connect with him. You have a relationship with him. And this is the ras.
Yes.
The gopis are a beautiful example of that, They didn't do much. They were not realized, I can't say that they were not realized being, they were super realized being. That's why they were born when Bhagwan himself manifests, So, they did a lot of penance before that.
Yes.
They were the son of Agnidev, who for thousands and thousands of years have deepened their meditation, their penance, just to enjoy that sweetness with Lord. So it's not that easy. But again, Bhagwan come by his own accord to them. The Leela that he made, born to Devaki, let go and go to Gokul. It's not the same. But he also do his part when you start doing your part. So by knowing who you are, it's not finishing. Get to know him and allowed him to reveal himself.
And then the connection is again...
The connection is there because the connection is eternal.
Yes. Relationship.
That
ras.
What is inside of you automatically feel. So you are drawn to him.
Yes, you were speaking about very ancient technique, and you were saying something about Atma Kriya combined with Bhakti and also with Om chanting. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What is Atma Kriya actually?
Atma Kriya
we know what is Om, we know what is Bhakti a little bit, but Atma Kriya...
Kriya is a technique of awareness. In short, I would just make it. It's a technique of awareness of whatever you do, you are doing it with the sense of knowing that it is an offering. That's what the verse 3 of chapter 3, verse 30 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, do everything as an offering to me. With a state of surrender. And how we will surrender? Without desire and without selfishness. Because everything that we do it with a state of selfishness. We want something in return. We do something, we want something in return. Maybe we don't put it as word outside, we don't say it, but there's always an expectation there, And our mind enters into a state of agony. Whenever there is a personal gain, we become very agitated. So Atma Kriya is very based upon changing that mindset of how every action that you do is done, is performed. So, of course, it's a technique which I can't just reveal it right now. I can't tell.
But just like, what does it? What is it made of? It's like some kind of meditation,
pranayama.
asanas, pranayama.
It is a meditation, pranayama, but it's a technique of how you breathe.
Okay.
So through that technique, it elevates your consciousness, the mind, conscious mind, and of course, it revealed a deeper truth of who you hold inside of you.
And
like
you combine it with the Bhakti and with
yes, of course. Like I said, it is combined with Bhakti and devotion, singing, chanting, because the main mantra is Om Namo Narayana. Nama Japa is very important.
You are also somebody who is known, definitely from your past, from Mauritius. You just described at the beginning of the podcast how everyone lived there, like in a good companion, no matter if they were Christians, Muslims, Hindu. So you're someone who puts effort into combining and to making like peace in between Western and Eastern spirituality. How do you do that? I mean, I can understand it from a spiritual essence, like spiritual essence is the same, but there are so many differences concerning spiritual beliefs, practices. How to combine that?
And when we come to the point of talking on the outside, of course, outside everybody have a different ways to access to that, but in essence, everybody believes the same. There's no 10 gods. There's only one. We can call him by so many names, but actually we are referring only to him. So when we put religion by the side, when we look at that, for example, in Christianity itself, what the saints live, for example, Teresa of Avila, we can portray similar Mirabai have lived. Mira was also into the same blissful state.
Yes.
And in one of the writing which Saint Teresa of Avila wrote in one of his diary, I think it was in sometime in August 8 and 15 something. She wrote something. I was transported in a beautiful garden, and there was this black man standing there.
Really? She wrote that?
Yeah.
Black man standing.
There's a dark man standing there. And when I look at him, I was drawn towards him. Of course, she didn't mention that it is Krishna. But we can presume.
Yeah, she thought it was Jesus or something.
For that. You see, we have to understand that we believe in Krishna, we believe in Narayana, we believe in Shiva, we believe in different aspects of Hinduism, have different Shaktas, believe in Devi. And imagine you have this deep faith in God. And of course for you, it's Jesus. If he come in the form of Narsinghadev, would you be able to embrace him? No, you will not. No. It will create a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's not about challenging, if you have reached to that state of divine ecstasy, only bliss will be. And of course, Bhagavan will come in whatever form you believe in. So if he can come in whatever form, he don't have any problem with manifesting in so many ways, So why should we have problem with that? This is very human. Each one believe that, yes, I am the right one, And that is when you look around, what is happening to this world. All the war from the beginning was created because of that.
Yes.
Because I am right, you're wrong.
Yes.
And we keep pointing fingers towards others that, yes, I am better than you. Because of my philosophy, of my understanding. No, there is beauty everywhere. When you start to appreciate beauty, you can see it everywhere. But first you have to appreciate your own inner beauty. If you can't appreciate your beauty, then the beauty of the outside is useless. Yesterday in the satsang I was saying, the beauty, beautiful people. What is beautiful people? It's not only on the outside beautiful. It is the beauty of the inside. Because all the people who have achieved great skill in their life, how long are they remembered? For short.
Yeah, for sure.
Very short. 10 years after they died, you will still remember them, and then they become a memory, finish. But those who have attained to that beauty, true beauty, the saints, take Adi Shankaracharya, take Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, the great acharyas itself, who have attained to that pure and real beauty, they ever remember. And for generation to come, they will still be remembered. And that is the whole aim about it, So unifying, you see, while we are in a state of complete, we like to separate,
yes.
When would be the time where we say, yes, enough is enough, now it's time to
unite.
Yes. Unite, same-minded. Now, I'm not saying, yes,
forcefully unite.
A forcing way of uniting. No, I'm not saying that, my way is better, come to me. No.
It's not working.
No, I respect you. Doesn't matter what is your path is, what is your belief is. Respect must be there. And if we start respecting each other, we will be the most happiest people. And that is what is missing, that respect. This organization think that they are better, the other organization think that they are better, and other organizations say, yeah, I am better. And how? How many organizations are better?
I'm looking at someone who said, I'm not better, I'm the worst.
Oh, that's it, But even that, you see. But I try to bring everybody, especially, firstly, like I said, you see, there's so many division in the path of bhakti.
Yes, even there.
Yeah. Exactly. Those people who actually
who should know
talk about love, should know what is love,
What is it actually? It's a game of egos.
But if you look at what people understand of love, we talk about love between people, but we don't talk about the universal love which unite everybody. In the universal love, there's no separation. There's no game of ego. When the saints reach to the heavenly plane, do you think they fight?
No.
They are in shock. That, you're also here.
You're also here.
In life, I've tried to persecute you because I feel I'm better than you. But then you are shocked. So then you welcome them.
I like that. So what would you say is the main goal of Bhakti Marga mission organization?
For me, personally, what I would say for the mission is to spread the love of God, firstly, to remind people of the love of God, and to transform yourself, to change yourself. And that you have to do. We remind you of that path and remind you of your relationship to God. And like it said, Bhakti Marga, the path of devotion. The devotion unite everybody. And that is what is needed right now. Devotion to God. Sincerely, not those who just pretend on the outside, but with some sincerity.
Yes. So you were saying something in the beginning about Daršan. You're saying many times Daršan. So yesterday or day before yesterday, you had this public event called Daršan, isn't it? In Split. So how would you describe to our viewers what is actually Daršan? What does it mean? And what does it mean, Daršan, in connection to you, for example? Yeah.
Daršan in itself, you see, when you go to temple in India, you have also Daršan. Daršan means where you are going toward the Lord to have a glimpse of Him. Okay? To have a glimpse of the ordinary, what is not in the out of ordinary. The ordinary things you see every day. But this out of ordinary, So this is called darshan. When you go to a temple, you have darshan of Bhagwan. You know, like you have Radharaman ji here. You go and have darshan of Radharaman or Banke Bihari ji. You know? So that is darshan, to have a sight of the divine. So, which is related to me, you know, darshan means actually who is giving who darshan. During darshan, very often people ask me, so, what is happening during darshan?
What is happening? What do I do?
You know?
Do I kneel? Do I what? People are confused. I know, I remember once.
But now it changed, you know, and we have seen at the beginning it was different. Now it keeps changing. At the time when we met, if you would have come to darshan,
it was really confusing.
Different.
What now? What's going on?
I used to touch the people.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just to bless them. And then, of course, now I do just by looking.
You don't touch, no?
No.
Okay.
Darshan is given into three aspects, which is sparsha, smarana, drishti. Which means sparsha means touching. Smarana, which means you give advice. And third is drishti, by looking. So all three I have done. So now it's just by looking. So what am I looking at? You see, this is a big question, but very often people ask.
Yes.
When you look in my eyes,
what do you see?
What do you see? I say, firstly, you have to understand, I'm not looking in your eyes. During darshan, I'm in a state where I'm looking into your soul, you know, your Atma itself. And what is your Atma is longing for is to reunite itself to Bhagwan. But how the Atma doesn't just realize, because you have so many samskaras, so many things you have, karmas you have taken with you from previous, you know, it have to be removed. So during darshan, what I do, I rearrange it or removed certain things that make it easy for one to journey into the spiritual path.
You're removing the obstacles.
Yes.
Individually.
Well, what have to be, or diminishing it.
Yeah. You're like a channel.
Well, you can say yes.
For God's grace to something like that. And you do you speak with people at
Sometimes
the moment?
I
Sometimes
do.
You say something? Yeah.
If I have to give them some advice, I will.
Okay.
If somebody is asking for some advice, I write it down. Then, if I feel like yes, that will be beneficial, then I would tell the person. But it's up to the person to follow it or not. You know, I can't force them.
Yeah, sure. So what do you ask from your disciples? What are they following? Do they follow some vows or something?
Yes, but
like
there is different
levels. Yes,
of course, there's different levels. The brahmacharis, they follow the vow of sannyas, you know, the vow of
celibacy,
monkhood celibacy, and the devotees, they have different things. You know, they follow the sadhana, which is very important, the worship of the Lord Himself, you know, and the chanting of the Lord Himself. Chanting His name is very important. Nama japam we do. It is one of the most important.
Well, what would you advise to someone who is interested in this conversation? So he wants to start something. What is your best advice on how to start? You know, what habits to develop? What books to read? What is something which will destroy spiritual progress? Some danger, you know.
Well, the danger that destroys spiritual progress is firstly stop listening of the outside. You know, because our mind is drawn so much in listening always to the advice of people. If you don't get the right advice from the right people, that will destroy your spiritual advancement. Even if you have advanced, you can fall. And I have seen many people fall just by listening to the wrong advice. Because you see, when people have certain things in the mind, what they want confirmation.
Yes.
And what they go around doing, they want people to acknowledge what they have into their mind. And they think that, yes, by doing that, I'm becoming somebody very great and all that stuff. No, actually, you are falling. So that is very important. To whom you are receiving advice. So that's why gurus are different from people. But people go to people, which is they themselves are miserable, and said, out of misery, can you let me out? And the person said, yes, of course, come. I will join your misery. Join my misery company. Also.
Misery loves company.
Let's become miserable together.
Yes.
Yeah. So that doesn't bring spiritual advancement. You know? So what you have to do is firstly what you have to let go, look at your life itself. Whatever you have done have made you happy or not. If you realize it, but that have not made me happy, then drop some things. Start changing firstly how you think about yourself and others. Secondly, start check what you are eating. Because food play a big role upon your spiritual advancement.
Yes.
I think all the rubbish people eat don't help them. No. Because you are eating tamasic food, food which is full of negative things, that will influence your mind also to become negative. So that's why what you are eating is very important. A vegetarian diet is very important. And if best is you will become vegan. So that is what help a lot. And then of course, inquire. Inquire, what am I looking for? Krishna allowed Arjuna to talk at the beginning of the battlefield to remove all his doubt, so that when he's fighting, he's free of doubt. So inquire about your spiritual path. Search, adventure into it. And that will help you a lot. But people always have prejudice, They already presume that they know the answers. They don't want to say, let me try and understand it. Let me have that deeper understanding. Let me do something. Try to understand something. That they don't. But they have, everybody, like I said, often, everybody is a born doctor. You have a certain illness, you ask somebody, you ask 10 people. Each 10 person will give you their own opinion about what is happening with you. Everybody will have their own solution and their own remedy. And that I have seen personally. With the same illness, you go to 10 doctors, 10 doctor will give you 10 prescription. So, and people like that. I think people very often become dependent. Say, okay, I don't want to take responsibility for that. You take my responsibility. No, start taking your own responsibility. Grow up. When you start growing up, you have that willingness, yes, I want to change something in my life, then you will change. But if you say, no, my life is miserable, I still, yes, I want to be happy, is a nice word, but I don't know how to be happy. No, there is many ways, to be happy. But you have to have that willingness to be happy. If you don't have that willingness to be happy, as much as somebody else will tell you, yes, be happy, will teach you so many techniques to be happy, still you will not be happy.
Yes.
So it comes firstly with you taking that responsibility. Yes, I want to change.
How do you approach to this, which we're saying, to take responsibility, but also to surrender to some guru? Where is the fine line,
So firstly, the word surrender is a big word. No, you can't just surrender to the guru if you don't have that feeling. Very often when people come to me and say, Guruji, I want to be your devotee firstly. Firstly, I ask them, the question I ask, what do you feel? I'm not asking you what you think. Think you have a lot of thinking.
Yeah, that's the way it changes. Yeah.
So thinking, you think a lot. That doesn't interest me, what you're thinking. But what you're feeling. Your feeling is something which comes from deep within. It's a revelation. And the feeling is not somebody can make you feel, oh, I'm sorry. Somebody will say, oh, I make you feel like that. No, this is words that we talk. No, feeling is something else. You choose to feel. Because something from inside is coming out. When something comes from inside, from the deep core of your heart, and that comes in the form of feeling. And that feeling, whether you trust it, you will grow with it or not. So that's why when somebody comes and takes shelter of the Guru, for me personally, I always ask, what do you feel? And if your feeling is right, yes, go into that journey. If it is not, don't adventure into that journey. So first you have to learn to feel.
But feelings can also be a little bit, whimsical. Or you're talking more about intuition, gut feeling.
Intuition, I'm talking about. Your gut feeling, which is deep inside. So that's why when you're in front of your guru, there's certain feeling inside of your heart. If you're in front of the guru, you cry. Without you want to cry, there's tears coming out from your eyes. Somebody wrote to me in the satsang a few days ago, and so I said, Guruji, whenever I come to you, I just want to cry. What should I do? Okay, cry. And it's so beautifully. In the Bhakti Vijaya, it explained, Lord Krishna, once, there's a beautiful story of a saint. He could not go into the temple. And he had a vision of Lord Vittala standing there and calling him. And he said, me? I said, yes, you come. So in the middle of the night, the door was open and he went inside and Lord Krishna embraced him and took his garland, the Tulsi Mala, and put it in his neck. He said, no, I can't wear this. This is more beautiful on you. So he took the garland and put it on him, on Lord Krishna again. So like that, then Krishna took his shawl and put it on him. I said, no, I can't wear your shawl. So meanwhile, the temple priest came. And to the amazement, the door was open. And they got shocked to see that man inside. I said, how come you came in? I said, Krishna. Meanwhile, Krishna was standing as the Vigraha. So they beat him up and throw him out. And poor guy was crying. He went behind the temple. He was crying and crying and crying. So Bhakti Devi, passed by and said, Lord, what have you done? Where are you running like that now? They saw Lord Krishna running outside joyfully, happily. Said, where are you going? Said, I'm going to see my devotee which is crying behind. And she said, what have you done again? And I said, well, he came inside and the priest beat him up and said, it's very bad the way you treat your devotee. And I said, what can I do? Because only when I see the tears in the eyes of my devotee, because they long for me so much, but I can pour out that grace. And this is true. So that tears truly, it's not just a tears which, okay, I'm crying. Emotionally people cry, but it's finished. But that is with feeling. Even without you want to cry, it's still the tears is pouring out.
Yes.
And that is the deep feeling from the heart itself. So that feeling can't be frenzy.
Yes, I understand that. How would you say, how can one check his spiritual advancement? What are the most relevant things to look for in someone to decide if he's on the right path, he's developing properly in a spiritual way?
Well, it's easy.
Maybe some outwardly, something which we can see, observe.
Okay, firstly, look at your life itself, how it was before and how it is now. By analyzing yourself, you will see. But you have gone a long journey. It may appear just nothing have changed. No, many things have changed. You have changed firstly. You're not the same person how you used to be. The way you used to think. You're not the same. The temperament you used to have, you're not the same. These are all signs of spiritual maturity. You are more calm in certain situations when before you will explode.
You're talking to me? Yes.
But in general, I like this.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So many things change in your life.
Yes. For better.
Yeah, for better.
For better.
You know. You see, people expect spiritual change to be, wow, you come to a point of enlightenment just like that.
Just,
in 1 month.
Float around, one shining.
You will float around, but you will not notice that. Your neighbor will notice it. You know? So somebody came to me last time and was talking and said, I went back home and everybody was telling me, I am changed. And we were looking at the picture of him 1 week before we met and 1 week after. And I said, is that you? I said, yeah. I said, no, it's impossible that is you. Look. And he was looking at his own picture 1 week before we met. It's completely different person.
How can that be? He physically changed.
Physically changed.
The energy, the everything.
Everything. And that is shocking.
I believe that because we are energy.
Yeah, but it is amazing to see that physically in somebody changing.
So let us talk a little bit. We are approaching to the end of the podcast, so you just know. I know there's a trip to Ljubljana waiting, and there are people here waiting for you. So let's talk just a little bit about the age we are living now. So Puranas Vedas describe that we are living in the age of Kali, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So it's like age full of challenges, especially for the spirituality, as we can see. What is your view on this current period in time? What can we expect? Are we maybe heading towards some golden age or great awakening, or we're slipping more, into darkness of the Kali? Get out of here as fast as you can,
For me personally, the Charu Yuga, the 4 yugas, are stage of spiritual growth. It's not, I don't understand, for me personally, it's not that it was a time where Kali Yuga was not there. All the ages goes hand in hand at the same time. Satyug, Dwapara, Treta, Kali Yuga, all goes, it's a circle, which is, it's not a circle of round circle. It is, each one have their own circle, but they all go intermingling to each other. Simultaneously.
Okay.
Depend on your spiritual growth, that become different stages of life where you grow spiritually. You can, when you attain enlightenment, you're in Satyug, for example, when you are on the process and do your deep meditation, all this, you are in Treta, when you come to the point of having this love for the divine, where your heart is yearning and burning, you are in Dwapara. And if you are miserable and fully engrossed into the drama, you're in Kali Yuga. For me personally, that's what I perceive it in that way. And if you look through history itself, were Kali Yuga not in Dwapara?
Yes, there was times.
Mahabharata itself is an outcome
war,
of that.
Everything,
During the Ramayana, during the time of Ram, which is in Treta Yuga, Bharat, how the brother of Rama kicked the servant of his mother, of Kaikeyi, Mantara. How did he do that? He kicked her, drag her by the hair, and throw her out, because what she told, she was gossiping about Rama. Is that not an effect of Kali Yuga?
Yeah, we can say like that, yeah.
So, you see, people think that, okay, we talk about Satyug, no? When we take the Vedas, for example, the Puranas, for example, okay, just go on the Puranas, because mostly deal with the Puranas. So in the Puranas, when did all this, what is happening in the Puranas happen?
Satya Yuga, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. All of these demons, the churning of the
many
ocean.
Demons in Satya Yoga,
yes. All the demons were born in
it was Leelas. They were Leelas.
Yeah,
you have to have demons for a Leela, a proper Leela.
We call it, but the action of these demons are very
it's evil.
Kali Yuga,
Yeah, that's true.
So, you see, they are not separate. Even in Satyug, Kali Yuga was there. Depend on which level of vibration you are into, which level of spirituality you are vibrating. And in this time that we are living right now, we see But some people are searching, which is still not everybody talk about, yes, we want to be good, but what do you do to be good? You know? Or do you want everybody else to change for your life to be better? No, you have to change firstly. What can I give to others? That is spirituality. You know, somebody asked me a question, what is spirituality for you? I said, look, when I close my eyes, I see Bhagwan. And when I see Bhagwan, I am in peace. And when I open my eyes, I ask myself, what can I distribute? What can I give to this world? But when people close their eyes, what do they see? Problem. They close their eyes, they see their mind, they see their drama, they see their worry, they see their pain and everything. And when they open their eyes, what do they? What can I take?
Yeah, what can I take? Yeah. Share the problems with everyone around.
What can I take? What can I take?
What's there for me?
But everybody wants. Deep inside, I don't think anybody is bad, but it's just that how they express it is wrong. You know? And everybody, there's a beautiful story which come to my mind. I've tried to cut it short. No, I read, I don't know, some time back. It just pop in. This one man was passing through the desert. And this was his way every day. He was passing by the desert. And he was looking. And he prayed, oh God, how wonderful if this place would be, what the use of this place, you know, if it would be greenery all around, it would be wonderful. For that I know there is no water here. It would be wonderful if there was water, somebody would have made it green. As he was going by, he saw a well. To his amazement, that well was never there. So he saw a well. He was shocked. He approached the well. He looked inside, full with clear water. The well have lots of clear water. Then he was thinking, okay, fine. Now I want to have how can I take the water from the well? I need a rope and bucket. As he was talking about that, he saw, in the side, there was a bucket and a rope. And he said, okay. He started becoming nervous. Then he said, okay, fine. Then I would need, how would I carry the water? So as he said that, he felt somebody touching him behind. And he looked behind, he saw a camel. So he became super nervous. So he said, okay, I have to go now. So he started running away from that well. And as he was running away, he didn't even look up, you know. And as he was running away, he turned and he looked. There was a piece of paper flying, stuck to him. So he looked at the piece of paper, and on the paper was written, I gave you water, and I give you rope and bucket, and I give you a camel. Now make the desert green. So he said, no, I don't want to get stuck into making the desert green. That's why the desert stayed like it is barren. So he ran away. But this is the same attitude, you know, often we have, you know. We want everybody else to change for our benefit. We blame everybody for our own negativity, for our own fault, you know. We keep blaming others. The fault is never ours, you know. It's always other fault. And that's what have to change.
Yes. And the great awakening starts with us.
No, it's all start with you firstly. What the youth are entering spirituality when you have not changed? What? Just to change the clothes? Just to put a tilak on your forehead? Just to take a japa and walk around? Just to show people that you are spiritual? That is spirituality? No, you have to change. You have to become spiritual. You have to become a better person than you were yesterday. Have you changed from who you were before and today you're a different person? Have you been a better person? And if that make you change, then adventure into spirituality. And that, because just to change on the appearance of the outside and don't change your mentality.
It's a show.
It's a show. And in this world, I've seen so many people who put just a show on the outside, but they are spiritual, you know. And like I said,
but it's
spirituality.
Short-lived. It's always
it doesn't last long, you know. As much as you put a show, it's very short.
Just for the novelty of
That's
a
it.
new or something, yeah.
And it's fade away. It comes quickly, it goes quickly.
How would you describe what you were saying, a term, somebody falls from the spiritual path? What does it mean?
Fall from spiritual path means that you devout of that grace, you know, and that you find many people which it happen because they go into their weakness. You know, when they go into their weakness, they lose that grace. It's not that the grace is taken forever from them. It is there, but they become dormant.
Yeah, just permanently covered until they get through their wishes or some skara or something, some karmas. Yeah.
Then they go through that and then they come back again. It can take lives also for that to happen.
Yes, as we can read in Puranas. It can take lives. So thank you so much, and for the finish of this amazing podcast, I would like to ask you, what is your closing message for our viewers? Do you have some, what would you say is the most important message you can give?
For me, my most important message is to be yourself. You don't need to pretend to be who you are not. When you're yourself, some people will accept you, it's fine. People will not accept you, will throw a stone at you, it's also fine. At least you will know who is with you and who is not with you. And don't be scared of being yourself. You know? And that is the sad thing, that very often we live our life just to please others. And we are not really true to ourselves. So firstly, learn to feel and build your relationship with God. You know? And nobody can do that for you. You have to do it.
Maharaj, thank you very much for this podcast. It was really amazing to have you here. All my thanks to the team which brought you here. And I hope to see you again sometime soon.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you very much. It was really amazing.